Well, hello, everybody. I'm Michelle Dillard. I am a former flight attendant. I flew for 30 years for the airlines, and now I'm on my second act. I've been an actor also for over 30 years. I'm an actor and voiceover artist, playwright, and director, speaker, and I am also a inspirational coach. So, how's everybody today?
Good, pretty good. Good. Yep, we
Good, good.
had some food and we're getting ready for the afternoon.
Does everyone want to tell Michelle what your names are?
My name is Adam.
My name is Jaleesa.
I'm Brian.
My name is Shay Meek.
You can't see her because she's back there.
Did you hear everyone?
I heard them. Yes, I did hear them introduce themselves.
A little harder to see because we're in like a corner. Jalissa, can you read a question off of that list over there? Right here. Um, so what inspired you to pursue the arts?
You know what? I've always loved the arts from just even as a little girl. Um, I don't know if they still do this, but field trips. We used to go on lots of field trips when I was in school, and they took us all kinds of places. And usually they took us to see some type of performance at the Fox Theater or wherever. And just like I said, since from a little girl, I began to fall in love with the arts. Thankful to the school system for taking us on field trips. And then I have an aunt who often would come pick me up and take me to different events that all surrounded the arts and just fell in love with it. And then there was a woman at my church. She was our piano player, and she would put on plays. I remember when I was a teenager at our church and musicals every year, and she made everybody participate. And so I would say, really, at the age of 17, I got really the acting bug. Yes.
And what's your favorite part of the job?
Say that one more time, Brie.
What's your favorite part of your job?
The favorite part of my job, well, it allows me a lot of flexibility. I'm doing what I love to do. Um, at this point in time in my life, I'm not tied down to a regular 9 to 5 job, and I'm really pursuing my passion, really pursuing what it is that I want to do, what I like to do, and have the opportunity to work with some other talented actors and directors, producers.
And Adam, you had a question that kind of went off of that one too, right?
Oh, I haven't. I have a different one that I just came up with. So between being an actress, a voiceover artist, well, let me go closer actually. So between being an actress, a voiceover artist, a director, which of those are the most challenging for you to do?
Most challenging. Um, I don't think I would use that word, challenging, but um, they all have their, ups and downs. My favorite out of all of those are doing voiceovers. And if I had to use the word challenge as far as acting, sometimes there aren't enough roles for African American women, and then for more mature women, sometimes there just aren't enough roles. But that's when you have to learn how to create your own content and write roles for yourself. Write write scripts for yourself. and other people that don't have the opportunity to get many roles. So if I had to use that word challenge, that's what I would say. It's just not, enough roles for African American women sometimes, and for more mature women.
Right.
And Shanique had thought of a question earlier too about how you went about making a name for yourself. Was that the question you had, Shanique?
Yeah, well, how did she make a name for herself in the art industry?
How you made a name for yourself in the art industry.
Okay, and who did that question come from?
Came from Shanique. I don't think you can see her.
Is it Shalita? What-
Shanique is her name.
Say it one more time.
Shanique.
Shanique. Okay. Well, I'm still trying to make a name, but more than making a name, I'm just enjoying the journey. I'm just enjoying doing what I love to do. But you just have to get out there, you know, take, audition for everything. Audition, audition, audition. And just like they say, practice, practice, practice. I agree with that. Train, train, train. Make sure you're getting plenty of training. Make sure you are auditioning for everything. I had an improv instructor tell me years ago, audition for everything, even things that you don't like. That way, your face stays in front of the auditor, and then you stay abreast of all the changes that are occurring in the industry. So the thing is just to get out there, get yourself in front of the camera, get yourself in front of the auditors, hang around like talent. Um, People will give you information, pass along information to you. And yeah, and just, take on as many roles as you can that you're comfortable with, even the ones that you're uncomfortable with. Stretch yourself, but just getting yourself out there is the only way you're going to, um, and strive to be multi-talented. Have a lot of tools in your toolkit, because it's not enough for me, that is, just to be an actor. I like to do voiceovers, as I mentioned earlier. I do speaking, so, just have be multi-talented, have multiple tools in your toolkit. So all of that can go on your resume. So if one industry is experiencing, lack, or I call it feast or famine when you're an actor, but you can go over and do something else. Yeah, just be multi-talented and get yourself out there in front of the camera and everybody.
And another question is, can you remember a time you had to step out of your comfort zone?
Um, I could probably remember a couple. Yeah, I can remember a couple of times I had to step out of my comfort zone. I'll use this as an example. I don't know if any of you all had the opportunity to go see Shakespeare in the park. This King Lear this past. It was there from in Forest Park from June, I think, 4th through the 27th or whatever. But they asked me to do the announcements for the show. So yeah, I don't know if anybody heard it or whatever, but I'm the one that before the show started, welcomed people to the show and told you where the restrooms were and what to expect, with the show. And but when I had to record it, because it's performed in the park, and this is before the show went up, it was a really rainy day, and their offices were literally right there in the park, and they had tents. And the person that was had me that wanted me to record. So he met me in the car. I'm thinking I'm going in a nice, comfortable studio or something to record. And we're literally walking through Forest Park, go trying to and walking through all this wet grass in the rain, trying to find a trailer, which actually ended up being one of the other actor trailers to go inside and record. And then the acoustics was horrible in one of them. And then we went to another trailer. Then the acoustics was horrible in that one. We found one that finally we could record in. Then all of a sudden, the sound men, they started testing equipment. So all you can hear is like these animal sounds that was just resonating throughout the park. Then finally he's like, can we just go to my apartment and do this? So we went to get in his car, which was amazingly quiet. So we ended up recording it in the car. But we were able still to complete, the task. And I just didn't expect that, it's not, sometimes you're not going to be able to, go into a plush place, to record or perform. You're not going to have a dressing room all the time. You may have to share a dressing room with someone. And some work that I've done on camera work, and you get there and show up. And it's not a place necessarily for you to change. It's not a dressing room or anything like that. And you have to go in the bathroom to change. And anyway, so yeah, there have been many uncomfortable situations. But that's the difference in being SAG, a union, and non-union. The accommodations are definitely different.
What's union? Ask her what's union.
Ephraim asks what's union? Explain SAG and union.
Okay. Well, when you are in this industry, there is, you can be union or non-union. There are union jobs and non-union jobs. If you join the union, you have certain protections. You have certain benefits. And union jobs tend to pay more, usually a lot more. Non-union, though there may be more of those jobs, some of the perks are not as good as they are as with being union. And it costs to join the union. Usually, I think in St. Louis, it's about 1,500, I think. Somewhere else, California, Chicago, it'll cost you like $3,000 to join. But the union jobs, again, they pay more and there are more benefits. Now, I'm what's called SAG eligible, which means I've done, you can do up to 3 union jobs without having to join the union. And the next union job that comes across my path, I have to absolutely join. And in St. Louis, it's kind of unlike New York, California, or Chicago. We just don't get a lot of union jobs. There are more, a lot of non-union jobs, and some of them, are pretty decent. They do pay. Some of them pay for non-union jobs, but the difference, I'll tell you a big difference. I've had the union jobs that I've had. You can walk on set, and I mean, it's a spread of food that you will not believe. They will feed you all day. And more than likely, you'll have a dressing area, dressing room, change area. And, they can't work you past a certain amount of hours without having to give you extra, pay. And then if you're the principal, and I've been the principal on several jobs, non-union and union, and you're just treated a lot different. You have someone to do your makeup, you have someone to do your hair, but non-union jobs, you know, though I've been on some of those too, where there's someone to do hair and makeup, but most of them you come what they call hair and makeup ready. Do your own hair, do your own makeup. You may have, instead of a full spread of food, they may provide water and granola bars and a piece of fruit. And although again, like I said, I've been on some non-union jobs where they had a nice spread as well. So it all depends on the company. But um, as far as theater, that's a different ball game because what I just shared with you guys mainly of referred to on camera work. But as far as theater, you know what? It is what it is. Local theater in St. Louis, where to me, we're oversaturated with theater companies, but there are some really good theater companies to work for. And, you know, you usually have rehearsals a few weeks before the show goes up. And you just come there ready to work. And you want something to eat, you bring the snacks yourself. Because more than likely, it's not going to be waiting there for you. You may have a cast party once the production is over, you know, depending on the director, you know, may provide a nice spread of food, or you guys may go out or something like that to meet. But in theater, it's called equity, actors equity. You can get an actors equity card. And a lot of people that perform on Broadway that pay is definitely a lot more as to doing non-equity work in theater. The pay is going to be less. And again, I've done both. And just to compare, um, being in a production with an equity company, you may get, um, I don't know, it varies anywhere from um, 1 to 3,000 a week. Non-equity, it may be 200, 300 a week or something like that. It just depends on the theater company.
Gotcha. Um, so another question we had is, what do you think makes a good story or good storytelling? This program that we have is focused on storytelling. So the question is, what makes good storytelling?
What makes good storytelling? Being believable. Yeah, definitely being believable makes a good story. And just keeping your audience engaged, definitely finding a way to keep them engaged, keeping your energy up to make someone want to even listen to you. But definitely keeping the story interesting, keeping the story moving, stay engaging, and be believable. Can't stress this enough. Just be believable.
Is there any other questions? Did you think of a question yet? Oh, nothing yet. No more questions?
How many of you all in there are interested in an acting career, following that path?
Doesn't sound like there's much acting interest right now.
Say that one more time.
Doesn't seem to be that much acting interest. I know Ephraim is an actor.
Yeah, I have interest in acting.
Of course you do.
Yeah. So our gathering today is this is our not quite our first day of summer, our summer program. We've been working. It's been kind of slow getting everyone together this summer. It's been a very different process. With just bringing all the youth together. But this is our second or third year of drama therapy, and we partnered with Washu, which brought us Katie, and she really wanted to focus on looking at storytelling as a form of as an art form. And so our goal was really over the next few days today, and then a couple of days next week, and then the following week we'll be doing 2 days, and then constructing a final presentation where the youth will be tasked to pick a medium of their own choice. So not necessarily acting, maybe dancing, singing, poetry, writing, I don't know, chalk on the sidewalk, something, pick their own artistic medium to explore the ins and outs of their own personal storytelling. I shared at the beginning that storytelling is, really critical and key in my own personal life and understanding. Obviously, my medium is acting and theater, but encouraging them to kind of explore within themselves and look at their own story and look at, what makes a good story, and through understanding what makes a good story, being able to understand their own story a little better. So
Mhm,
just
mhm.
we're able to meet today, and so again, I don't think we have very many actors out there, but I think we have some people. Uh, what your name one more time? I'm sorry, Brian. Brian has particularly asked about on the producing end of it, more about some of the aspects of, and I was telling him, I was focused on just doing theater until this pandemic year hit too, and I was proud to say I just did live productions until COVID-19 happened, and then I too had to branch out, and I started doing filmography for weddings and live streaming funerals and and I'm recording out of the house, recording all sorts of different things. And so, as you kind of hinted to, it's so important to stay flexible. But any other advice or any other feedback you would have, and just again, we don't have very many actors, but we're trying to. I always want to share with the youth that art is a true profession. It also requires discipline and dedication, and there's going to be, me for a long time working with Encore now.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
goes up, it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. So
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I would just tell all of y'all, no matter what profession that you go into, whether it's the acting, the playwriting, directing, producing, video production, or whatever it is that you are interested in. Um, like Ephraim said, be dedicated. I always say show up, and show up not just physically, but be present, mentally, and be there to work and do your best, give 100%. And you never know what other doors will open for you, what other opportunities will open for you. Don't take life for granted. One thing the pandemic has definitely taught us is that tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. And everything that Ephraim is offering to you in this program, if I were you, I would suck it up. I would take it and hold on to it. And you may not understand fully right now because you're young and your mind may be somewhere else. But I guarantee you, it's going to pay off later. It's going to pay off later. You're going to find it to be useful later. Everything that you're learning from him right now, even what I'm sharing with you guys, just strive to be your best. Strive to be ever learning. I'm one of those. You cannot get enough education, and education doesn't necessarily equate to college. It means training. Go in a training class. There are tons of free classes out there on on the internet. Taking advantage of what Ephraim is offering in programs like this. You're going to find it useful later in life. And even if you go to college, you may find later, this is not even what I want to do. You get out of college. When I first went to college, I went to school to be a computer programmer. I have no idea, barely know how to use the computer. You see how long it took me to get in here and Zoom, didn't you? This computer was acting up. But I traveled a different path, end up working for the airlines, flying all over the world, meeting people everywhere as a flight attendant. That was the best job that I ever had. But I decided to leave it early because I just felt something else pulling me and calling me. So I can get into the acting full time, and I have no regrets from that. But what the airline job did for me is allowed me to be able to fly free the rest of my life. So I can fly free to go to other auditions in other cities and states. So there are opportunities out there for you. Don't take any of them for granted. And I know you probably hear this all the time, but it's true. Listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. Listen to mentors that come into your life. Um, Learn everything you can. It's a wealth of information out there on the internet. And I'm gonna tell you what's one of your biggest mentors, and it's mine too. And I had to learn this. If you don't have a physical mentor, tell me, somebody tell me, what do you think I'm about to say? What is one of your biggest mentors? Anybody? Take a guess.
He said yourself.
That's a good answer, but that's not what I'm getting at. Books. Books are mentors. I have learned so much from simply picking up a book. And that particular author just spoke to me. Their words just resonated with me. That's another thing. Use your library card. Go to the library, pick up a book in any area that you want to grow in and learn more. And of course, we mentioned the internet, but books are mentors. Those people that are authors, they have plenty to say. They're not writing just for their health. And I'm happy to say I've just wrote my first book, and it will be coming out in a few weeks. And it's called Her Story, Our Story. And it has to do with women mainly. It's a devotional, actually, I wrote, talking about life lessons for women. But you can do that too. You have a book inside of you. You have a book inside of you. And once you learn and tap into all the wonderful gifts and talents God has blessed you with, man, can't nobody stop you. Use them all. Don't get stuck. I know you're young now, but don't get stuck in a 9-to-5 job, especially one that you hate, one that makes you miserable. Because see, we're taught to grow up, go to college, get a good job. Well, nowadays, entrepreneurship is the way to go. So, the jobs, again, with the pandemic, we have learned they can go away just as quickly as you can get them. But if you ever, if possible, can become your own boss and become an entrepreneur and start your own business, do it. And you can do it now, actually, even at the age that you are. Get creative, do something, tap into what you're good at and what you love to do, and make a business out of it. You can, and there's a book I want to recommend. It's called the Digital, let me tell you for sure, the Digital, you get a chance. This author resonated with me. He said, when he was in college, he was basically starving, and people used to ask him to write papers for him or for them, or show them how to do some type of video production. And he started charging them each, $50, then $100. The next thing you know, he had a business. So don't minimize your gifts and talents. It's called Digital Millionaire Secrets by his name. Yep, Digital Millionaire Secrets. And his name is Dan Henry. Dan Henry. But he teaches you how to create courses, online courses, and sell them. And he talks about in this, and share other people's stories, how his first course, he made $10,000 just creating a course. That was $10,000 in one day. The next time he got creative, he created another course. He made 50 grand in one day. Then he went on to make 100,000 a month, 100,000 a month. Then something else he created, 200,000. So there are opportunities out there. Don't minimize the gifts and talents that God has placed inside of you. Use them. Write that book one day if you're inspired to write a book. And here's the other advice I want to leave you with. Don't give a crap what nobody have to say or do concerning you. You are the CEO of yourself. And if you feel that you're powerful enough and gifted enough to do a particular thing, then do it. Don't worry about peer pressure. Don't worry about what your friends gonna say. They broke too. So create those opportunities for yourself to be better, to do better, and to make money. Create those opportunities for yourself. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in a 9 to 5 job that you hate. Now, you may have to work a job for a while, to build yourself up, to build your business up, because entrepreneurship is definitely a faith walk. And sometimes it's feast or famine, but you keep going, you press, and you press. That's my advice to you guys. You can do it. Every day you tell yourself you can do it. I can do it. I'm good enough to do it, and I'm going to do it. Yes, tell yourself that. And you know what? Everybody don't need to know your business. All your friends, because some of them gonna be like, you crazy, you can't do that. Everybody don't need to know your brilliant ideas. Go for it, and stick close to people like Ephraim. Stick close, to this type of training. You guys, you're getting a wealth of information. Don't take it for granted. You're going to need it one day. You're going to need it one day.
Well, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Question?
Anyone else have anything to say?
Oh, ID. I had one more question. Like we have you. Can you talk just a little bit about I guess like the cross intersectionality, I guess, between between the arts and like how you found the skills that are viable with acting and the rest of the arts, and how you found that helpful for other jobs you had, obviously with the airline, and other jobs you had, and then the other parts in life, because we talk a lot about I know you probably heard me talk about this personally, but how much theater and how much working through the arts, just going through that process is so helpful for other things that we that we go through life, such as going through job interviewers. So some of us made it to having fear of speaking in public and all that. So how does how does that all kind of come together and kind of intersect in a way that's that benefits?
Yeah, that's a good question. Things that I have learned, and I always say that the path that we take, the journey that we take, is what was meant to be, and that's why you have to savor every moment. But I do believe some of my past jobs that I've had prepared me for even now. Um, all those years I worked for the airlines, one of the things, if you've ever been on the airplane, um, if you're working the L1 position, you have to make announcements. You have to make the announcements for welcoming the passengers. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You boarded Transworld Flight 525, operating nonstop to Atlanta, Georgia. So you had to make the announcements for the airplane, and that was part of our training. And that goes in still with public speaking, because you're speaking in public every single day. You were on that aircraft, welcoming the passengers, giving them directions, on what to expect from the aircraft, whether it was flying time, whether or not we were going to be serving anything. And so that prepared me as well, for, speaking on stage, and speaking as a public speaker, to depending on the arena, that I was going to be speaking in. So I believe each job that we have does train us. I was once a marketing director for a shopping center. It was my job to create events to draw traffic into that shopping center. So I had to contact other performers and bring them in. Then we had something called Kids Club. I had to bring performers in once a week for the Kids Club. And, it was usually mob from the zoo to bring animals or whatever, you know, but it was my job to create these events. Well, what I do now, um, I have to market what I do. If I'm putting on an event, a play myself, I have to market it. I learned that from my job when I was a marketing director. We were, I was also responsible for getting the maintenance people to put up all the signage throughout the shopping center. So when there was a movie coming out and we had a partnership with Disney, Disney sent us all the signage and promotional material, and we had to get that up and out throughout the mall to promote that particular movie and to draw customers to the theater in that particular shopping center. So yeah, I definitely credit my last job, not my last job, but my job as a flight attendant, my job as a marketing assistant, customer service supervisor. I had to manage people, and I have to manage my career. When I'm putting on a play, I have to manage those that I'm directing. So it all intersects. Like Ephraim said, it really, really does. I encourage you to take public speaking classes now. I took public speaking in high school. I took drama in high school. And that helped me. You know, even when I went away to college, I got involved in all kinds of extracurricular activities there. And it all comes full circle. Even as an adult now, I can still draw from what I've learned from my past jobs, from the past school experiences, from books that I've read, mentors that I've had, and I have a mentor now. So you're never too old to have a mentor. You're never too old to learn. But whatever you're learning along the path right now, just take it and grab a hold to it. And one day you're gonna be like, oh, that lady, Miss Michelle, she was right. I needed this. Yeah, yeah. But it all intersects.
Any other question? No? Remarks? Snotty remarks? Political statement? All right. Well, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Okay. My pleasure, my pleasure. Much success to all of you all, no matter what career path that you choose.
No, thank you very much. We're gonna be working, like I said, over these next couple of weeks as they learn to kind of put their own story together and pick their own medium to convey it. And again, thanks for sharing and being with us today, or being
Sure.
with us.
Anytime. Okay, you guys take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you so much. I'll send you a recording when I get it.